Level 1, the private. You step off a bus at Fort Moore, Georgia at 2 in the morning, and a drill sergeant is already screaming before your feet hit the pavement. You do not know where to stand. You do not know where to look. 20 minutes ago, you were in the back of a transport van trying to hold on to the last quiet moment you would have for the next 10 weeks. That moment is finished. They take everything: your phone, your wallet, your civilian clothes, every single item that connects you to the person you were 6 hours ago. They shave your head, they hand you a uniform that does not fit, and boots that will not feel broken in for weeks. They put you in a bay with 50 strangers who are just as lost and just as scared as you are. Basic combat training in the U.S. Army is 10 weeks of being taken apart and rebuilt from the ground up. You wake at 4:30, you run, you do push-ups and sit-ups and flutter kicks until your muscles stop working, and then you do more. You learn to shoot an EAM-4 carbine. The first time you fire a live round, your hands shake. By week 6, you are putting tight groups on a target at 300 meters, and it feels like nothing. You learn land navigation with a compass and a map in woods so thick you cannot see 10 feet ahead. You learn to apply a tourniquet to a limb that has lost too much blood. The drill sergeants are not your friends. They are the wall you run into every time you think you have figured something out. Everything is collective punishment. One person fails, everyone pays. You learn to hate the soldier who cannot get his bunk right. Then you learn to help him because hating him costs more than helping him. They never explain that lesson. You figure it out, or you wash out. You think about quitting on day 4. You think about it again on day 12. You do not. Not because you are brave, because quitting feels worse than staying. On graduation day, they call you a soldier for the first time. Your family is in the bleachers. You stand in formation with people you hated 10 weeks ago and would now do anything for. You make $24,000 a year. You own nothing. You know nothing, but you survived. Level 2, the specialist. You have been in for about 2 years. You made it through advanced individual training, and you are at your first duty station doing your actual job. The Army is nothing like basic training. Better because nobody is screaming at you every minute. Worse because the boredom is something nobody warned you about. You are an E4, the most common rank in the U.S. Army, the backbone of the workforce and the punchline of every joke. You pull guard duty at 3 in the morning. You spend entire days doing inventory on equipment nobody will ever use. You clean weapons that are already clean because someone above you needs to check a box. You sit through briefings that have nothing to do with your job and PowerPoint presentations that could have been emails. Hurry up and wait. That phrase means nothing to civilians. It is your entire life right now. The friendships you make at this rank are unlike anything before or after. You are all in the same situation, same pay grade, same frustration, same terrible DFAC food. You cover for each other. Some of these people will be at your wedding, some of them will be at your funeral. Level 3, the sergeant. You go to a promotion board. You sit in your dress uniform while senior NCOs ask you questions about Army regulations and military history. You memorize the answers and recite them like a machine. You pass. You pin on the 3 chevrons, and overnight, you are responsible for other human beings. Not in an inspirational way, in a concrete, career ending way. You lead a team of 4 soldiers. They are your responsibility 24 hours a day. If one of them gets a DUI at 2 in the morning, your phone rings. If one of them fails a PT test that goes on your record, you are 23 years old and you are a counselor, a mentor, a disciplinarian, and a babysitter all at once. And nobody trained you for any of it. Then the deployment orders come. Your name on a list, a date, a country. You call home that night using a voice you did not know you had. Steady, calm. The voice of a person who has decided not to be afraid out loud. Level 4, the staff sergeant. You are an E6 now with somewhere around 7 to 10 years of service. You have been deployed at least once, Afghanistan or Iraq, or some rotation where you spent 9 months away from everything you know, living in conditions that range from uncomfortable to something you do not have a word for. You have seen things that changed you. Maybe you saw combat, maybe you did not, but you were close enough to hear it and smell it and feel the concussion of an explosion rattle your teeth. Maybe you lost someone. You do not talk about it. Not because you are tough, because you do not know how. Your body is starting to feel the years. Your knees ache from rucking. Your back hurts from carrying 60 to 80 pounds of gear over uneven ground. Your hearing is not what it was. There's a ringing that you have stopped noticing except at night when everything else goes quiet. You are in your late 20s and you move like someone a decade older. The VA will eventually give you a disability rating for some of this. For now, you take ibuprofen and drive on. Level 5, the first sergeant, they call you top. You are the senior enlisted soldier in a company of 100 to 200 troops. You have a diamond in the middle of your chevrons, and it means something. Every problem in this company flows to you before it flows anywhere else. A soldier gets arrested, you handle it. A soldier's spouse calls because they cannot pay rent, you handle it. A soldier is not eating, not sleeping, not talking to anyone, you handle it. Every quiet disaster that could become a loud one if someone does not step in. That is your lane. You know things about these soldiers that their own parents do not know. Who is struggling financially? Who is drinking too much? Who is thinking about things that no person should be thinking about at 22 years old? You have attended too many memorial ceremonies. You have stood in formation while a chaplain reads a name and a pair of boots sits on a rifle with a helmet on top. You have folded flags. You have sat with families and watched their entire world collapse. You carry those names, all of them. Level 6, the general. You have spent 25 to 30 years in the United States Army. There are only 302 general officers in the entire force at any given time. Fewer than 0.5% of commissioned officers ever reach this rank. You got here through decades of performance and sacrifice and decisions made in rooms most people will never see. You brief the Secretary of Defense, you brief the President. You carry a phone that is never off and never more than arm's length away. You have sent soldiers to die. Not metaphorically. You have signed orders knowing that some of the men and women executing those operations would not come back. You have done the calculation. Risk to force versus risk to mission. Acceptable casualties. That phrase lives in your vocabulary and it never stops being obscene, no matter how many times you use it. You have attended dignified transfers at Dover Air Force Base. You have watched flag draped caskets come off aircraft and stood at attention while families collapsed in grief 20 feet away. You did not look away. You're not allowed to look away. One day you retire, there is a ceremony on a parade field. Soldiers march in formation. A band plays. Someone reads your awards, Bronze Stars, Legions of Merit, campaign ribbons from wars that lasted longer than anyone planned. They hand you a flag. You give a speech. You mean every word. You salute for the last time. You walk off the field. For the first time in decades, nobody is calling your name. The phone stops ringing. The emails slow down. The world you lived in for 30 years closes behind you like a door, and on the other side is a life you are not sure you know how to live. Somewhere right now, a kid is sitting in a U.S. Army recruiter's office. He is 18 years old, maybe 17 with a parent's signature. He is looking at a brochure with pictures of soldiers doing things that look exciting and nothing like what the job actually is. The recruiter is talking about benefits and training and being part of something bigger than yourself. The kid is nervous. He has already decided, but he wants to be talked into it, so it feels like someone else made the choice. He will sign the papers, he will ship to basic training, he will step off a bus at Fort Moore at 2 in the morning, and a drill sergeant will start screaming, and his old life will end, and his new one will begin. He has no idea what the next 4 or 20 or 30 years will cost him. He will figure it out. They always do.